We're now going to find the equation of an unknown line when you're given a point on it and the equation of a perpendicular line this time. So if we look at example A, it says write down the equation of the line which is perpendicular to this line and it also passes through the point 0, -3. So again, there's two lines in the question, the one that we know and the one that we don't. So we'll put our titles down, known line and unknown line. We're given the equation of the known line, y equals 5x plus 9. And we're also given the point that the unknown line goes through. So it goes through the point 0, -3. Now, to get the equation of any line, you need to know the y-intercept and you need to know its gradient. This point is 0, -3. If we plotted that point would lie on the y-axis because you'd move along the x-axis nothing and then you would move down 3. So this point is on the y-axis, so the unknown line cuts the y-axis at this point, so it cuts the y-axis at -3. So -3 is going to be the y-intercept. So the next thing we've got to do is work out the gradient of the unknown line, and we get that from the known line. Now, just make sure the known line is in the form y equals mx plus c. In other words, y is by itself and y is positive and has no coefficient, and that's the case, so it's in the right form. So identify the gradient of the known line. So it is the coefficient of x, it is 5. But these two lines are perpendicular. So to get the gradient of the unknown line, you flip the gradient of the known line upside down. So it's now going to be 1/5. Okay, 5 over 1, flip it upside down, you've got 1/5. And then change its sign. So it was positive here, we make it negative here. So that's how you get the gradient of the unknown line, because it's perpendicular to the known one. And then all we do now is write down the equation. So general equation of any straight line is y equals mx plus c. And then all we do is we replace the gradient m and the y-intercept plus c with their values. So our answer, y equals -1/5 x, and then the y-intercept plus c is just -3. And that's our answer. That's the equation of the unknown line in part A. Okay, let's look at part B. So part B says write down the equation of the line which is perpendicular to this line and it also passes through the point 0, 1. So again, there's an unknown line and there's a known line. So set up our answer, part B, known line, then we have our unknown line. Okay, first of all, the known line is the one that's given in the question, so y equals -3/4 x minus 5. And we know that the unknown line goes through the point 0, 1. Again, to get the equation of any line, you need to know the y-intercept and you need to know the gradient. This point lies on the unknown line, and this point is also on the y-axis, because if you were to plot this point, you would move along the x-axis nothing and then move up the y-axis to 1. So the line cuts the y-axis at this point, and it therefore cuts the y-axis at 1. So the y-intercept plus c is just 1 here. Now we need to get the gradient of the unknown line. So what we do is go to the known line, make sure y is by itself, and make sure y is positive, and make sure y has no visible coefficient. So it's in the correct form. Now identify the gradient of the known line. So the coefficient of x is minus 3/4. So to get the gradient of the unknown line, because the two lines are perpendicular, you go to the known line's gradient, you flip it upside down. So if we flip it upside down, we're going to have minus 4/3. But then we have to change its sign. It was negative here, it's now going to be positive. Okay, and that's going to be the gradient of the unknown line. So now we're going to write down its equation. So the equation here is y equals mx plus c. And then we replace the gradient m and the y-intercept plus c with their values. So our answer, y equals plus 4/3 or 4/3, and then that's being multiplied by x, and then replace the y-intercept plus c with 1. So plus 1. And that is the equation of the unknown line in part B.